on now. You can't even do this. Look.
So yeah, we're here to talk about this problem. We got Daleena and we got Jen to all elaborate on this. Anybody want to start off? Anybody want to tell their story?
All right, sure. So yeah, I'm a SF native right here, born and raised, and growing up, my mom and my dad used, and I grew up in the environment in my hood, like everybody used, but I grew up like always with the mentality like that ain't never gonna be me.
What
I'm gonna
neighborhood you from, if you don't mind?
Fernal Heights.
Oh, Burnham Heights. Okay,
Hmm.
from the VH. Yeah, I was born and raised in the city myself from Fillmore.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, you know, but I'd be like, damn, like I'm never gonna be that person, but I started using at an early age, like 12 years old, crank. So like,
Wow.
speed was like, but I was smoking weed before that, and stealing my mom's cigarette butts and her Cisco punch at the parties and shit. No. Yeah, but I mean, I used for a long time from 12 till I got clean in 2014, and then I was clean with my older son. I have an older son. I have two sons, a 22-year-old and a 9-year-old, little AJ, and then Noah. But with my older son, I was clean for a period of time when I got with his father. He got out of a recovery home. Daytop program, and he was like coming out with like this vocabulary and game that I like never heard, and I like was digging it because he's like, use this consequential thinking mentality type thing. I was like, okay, I like that. He's different. Anyways, but then I got clean for that period of time. Later, I fell deep in my addiction after my stepdad was murdered, and my mom passed away 5 months later. Um, and before that too, it's just I've been up and down, right?
Mhm.
But then after I lost my mom, I spiraled like deep. I start, meth was my choice of drug. Then I started smoking PCP heavy, and I was just out lost. I was lost walking the streets in the city, just lost, and I mean, people know me at different times of um my life. It was my life, whether regardless of what I was doing. But I uh I got clean in 2014, and what happened was I went to Jelani House, and I just was like, I just knew I wasn't gonna use while I was pregnant. I didn't know if I was gonna stay clean, but I went to Jelani House, and I was there. I went to a few NA meetings, and my older son's father's mother used to take us to these NA dances and all these. She introduced us to the NA scenery when we were teenagers, but we would go have fun, but we'd sneak in our trees and our drink, whatever. But later, I knew these familiar faces because she introduced me to this Narcotics Anonymous crowd, and I was at Southeast College, and they were doing a meeting there, and they were like, the first guy comes on and he's talking about how, he had a bad day and he's been clean for 26 years, but his sons, his older son's in prison, his younger son, I mean, his grandson is like, he hears him over talking with his boys. They want to go do some dirt. And he's like, I just, basically he was saying he just had a bad night, he had a bad day, then he gets to work and then someone swoops on his parking, and all these
Mhm.
things. And he's like, as a addict, a person with the disease, after 26 years there's times I still want to pick up and use. So I come to these meetings, and so that was a familiar face that I knew from my son's grandmother. So I was like listening to him, and he was like, as addicts, like people who don't have the disease, they don't want to pick up and use. But as us, we need to reach out for help. We need to come to these meetings. We need to, make sure we have a support group and whatnot. So I was like, okay. So, but I felt like a battle happening inside of me, like, because I was like, what he was saying was making sense. Like, that as an addict, we're always going to try to find an excuse to use, and then I hear like I felt something happening inside of me, like an argument, kind of like, well, he didn't find his mom dead and his boyfriend wasn't murdered, and like trying to, say like you got more pain
Rationalizing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay. So I felt this change because I really, I was just there. I didn't know how long I was going to be clean. I just knew I wasn't going to use while I was pregnant, but I was still coming off, PCP and meth and whatnot.
Wow.
So I was still kind of in a daze, but I'm listening because I know these familiar faces. And then the next lady that came on, I know her because she's my son's grandmother's sponsee, and she was saying how she just released balloons in Sunnydale because her one and only son was murdered a year ago.
Wow.
And right then and there, like there was no argument that could happen inside of me. It was just like something left my body. It was just like a reality check. Like, yeah, I've been through this and that. Yeah, my boyfriend was murdered, my stepdad, my mom, like, all these things, but I still got my older son AJ out there waiting for me to come, get my shit together and take him by his hand and walk through life with him. And then I'm pregnant with my other son. So it was like at that moment, like something changed inside of me. And then I was just like, from then on, I was just like, man, that shit's for the birds. Like that shit will really take down an eagle though. So like, I was just like something changed in me. Like I do not want to.
You got tired. You got tired. You wanted to do something different, and you had your first son, and you just wanted a change in your life. You didn't want to be in that no more. And some people, like I said, take people to get on you and tell you what you're doing. I was in the program I was in was Delancey Steel. It was attack therapy. So where people held you responsible for all your actions. You know what I'm saying? You had group meetings every day. You went to a group meeting for like 2 hours with 15 or 20 other people and people that you worked around and that you were around every day, and they seen your actions. So you got challenged on your actions, and it worked for me. You know what I'm saying? I seen all the bullshit. I learned that everything that I was doing was affecting my family, affecting my children, just me being selfish in my addiction. You know what I'm saying? And it's important to have people around you when you in recovery. People that you can, that been through recovery, especially that stand clean and know that you can call. Hey, look, I'm feeling like this, and it's a good thing to have a support system.
Right, absolutely. And Delancey Street, yeah, I heard good things about Delancey
Right,
Street.
it was the hardest shit I ever did in my
Yeah,
life,
I was
but
scared of
it
the
saved
streets.
my life.
Yeah,
It
for
saved my
sure.
life, and
Yeah.
it was a 2 year commitment. I ended up staying a little bit over 2 years because I liked what they was doing, and I was going to stay for a full 3 years, but I figured I was ready. I missed my family and everything because your first 6 7 months there, you can't have no contact with your
That's
family.
where I was
You know,
at.
I mean, it's the hardest shit I ever did. I've been to prison. Delancey Street was the hardest shit I ever did, and you could walk out any day. You could walk out anytime. They're not going to try to stop you from walking out or whatever. And I was like, sometimes I was like, fuck this shit. You know, it's right here in the city. I know this, I'm born here in the city. And at the time, my whole family was in Vallejo. Shit, I can get out here and get to Vallejo in a minute. That's when the devil was working. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get me back to the addiction. But I fought through that shit, and I'm where I am today by the help of others and by me just having that willpower to not want to just live a dumbass life again.
Right.
So it has to come from you.
Yeah, it has to come from you first and foremost. If you're not ready, you can go to all the treatments and all the AA meetings and NA meetings you want to. But I've seen people fucking go to meetings and go right outside and use as soon as they leave. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't for me. I've been to 1 or 2 NA meetings in my life because I really feel, even after I got out of recovery, I felt I didn't need it because I had what I needed, but I kept a support system. You know what I'm saying? And if I felt like just if I got any kind of negative way in my head to where I was going to go back and fucking use some dope, I call somebody.
Right.
Or I go around people that I know didn't use and let them know what I was going through. And you'd be surprised. When people love you, they help you. You know what I'm saying? And when they know that you're trying to help yourself, they help you, especially in recovery. Especially in recovery. And it's a good thing to have a strong support system when you're in recovery.
It's the dopest thing, man. Recovering, recovered addicts and or recovering addicts, it's just such a beautiful thing, man. They got a lot to give. There's so much power in our stories, and we got to give it back, to the community, to the youngsters. It's like you said. It's so hard to it's the disease, right? And it's like
It
the
is.
selfishness. And it's like in the beginning, it may have been a choice when you first used, but it literally like takes over your mind and your body and it could take your soul too. But, it like just, there's nothing that'll keep me from my kids today. And just to think that that kept me from my older son for as long as it did is crazy to me.
It's crazy. And it's crazy, but it's also good. If you stick and just fight through it, like I said, first and foremost, you got to be ready to change.
Mm.
You got to be. You got to change your people. Sometimes you got to change your
Mhm.
locations. You got to change everything about yourself if you really want to get back to yourself.
Right.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You got to leave certain people alone. You got to stop going around certain things, and you might, oh fuck, they having fun over there, but
Hmm.
they using. You know what I'm saying? I can't go over there.
Sometimes
Oh,
it looks fun still to me.
right,
Yeah.
right.
That's the part
You
I'm
know,
still learning because I never went to any sort of like facility or program or anything like
right.
that. I just fully went just cold turkey. I was in high school and I was just literally felt like everything was just like leaving, like gone, like all opportunities, all thoughts, all feelings, all everything. And OD, obviously, and then I was just kind of like, damn, but it didn't happen, I was just like in the bathroom. But, the whole situation just kind of was like, oh, this is really real. I'm to the point where I'm having 5 expired hydros. What the hell am I doing? You know what I mean? I'm 17, in high school. What am I doing? And then even now, listening to you guys, I'm 24. I was a kid dealing with that. And even now, I still haven't gone to a program because I'm nervous. You know what I mean? I might still be sober, but, it's a thing in the back of my head that I know that I need that support system and that kind of understanding. And I wasn't able to find it until I was around 20, I think 23, when
Right.
I found other addicts, who are recovering, and it's crazy because it's like you can't do it alone. That's why I relapsed so many times, you know what I mean? But that willingness to still want to be sober is the most important part because that's why I'm still sober and I like being sober.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But I never know. It's still in the back. How many times have I relapsed? Will it happen again? You know what I mean? And I love my life right now, but what if it goes away? You know,
Right.
It could just be one bad day. You know what I mean? Like 2 months ago, I had or no, a month ago, I had a mental breakdown, and it literally what started it about 2 weeks prior to the breakdown. That's what it was. I never liked alcohol like that. You know what I mean? It always made me feel funny. I didn't like that. I prefer pills or weed. Um, why the fuck am I sober? Passing by a liquor store, suddenly wanting to buy a bottle, just blacking out. You know what I mean? I might not want pills, but I want something and it's not weed, and then that's what started raising flags. I was like, no, something's going on.
Right.
And it was a coping mechanism, me wanting to run away or me not. It's not, I hate that. I hate that because, again, I'm still a young recovering addict,
Hmm.
that idea, of like, running away, but ultimately when you do like bring it back and hold the mirror to yourself, that's what you're kind of doing, not wanting to deal
Well,
with
you're
the
trying to
situation.
suppress something, right?
Yeah, that thing of not wanting to change. I think that's why I mentioned being 24 because it's still that stubbornness, and that's always what I tell myself. It's just that it's me wanting to be young. It's me wanting to black out. It's me wanting to do these things and not doing what I have to do. There's so much I have to do. Let me just put my energy towards that. You know what I mean? But in order to keep that, I know for a fact I need to go to those programs. So it's a part of my journey, right now. But yeah, definitely. That support system's very much needed because I'm sure my journey would have been a little bit more easier. You know what I mean? Than like me still being nervous talking about it now.
And then the funny
That
thing,
shame.
it's a funny thing about support system too. A lot of people don't know that they have a support system
Hmm.
until they actually try to use them. You know what I'm saying? Because most people don't want to share what they're going through with nobody, especially if it's you fighting demons, right? You a lot of times you don't want to share that with nobody. You have to learn
Hmm.
how to share what you're going through with people, especially like people, people that's been through what you're going through. And when I first really figured out my support system, it's probably what saved me from relapsing over these last 24, 25, 26 years. If I get in no kind of way, I'll call somebody. I know I'll call one of my little brother. I got a little brother that never used nothing in his whole life. He stay on my head like he's my big brother. You know what I'm saying? And I would call one of my little brothers or my little sister. You know what I'm saying? And just, hey, I'm feeling this way. I'm finna go buy some dope. And and they'd be like, you stupid motherfucker. Just like that. You better not. And it would bring me back to reality. You know what I'm saying? And then it's funny because a lot of people don't know that they had the support system, or they do know, but they're afraid to use them because they don't want people in their business, as we say.
Shame.
It's change.
Guilt. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And once you can get past that and learn how to just use people around you, use your resources around you, especially if you're trying to get your life back.
Yeah. It wasn't until I started talking about it and then my friends were like, I'll never let you do that. And it's like,
Mhm.
never let me do that. I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, wait a second. This new person in my life heard that about me
Right.
and wants to protect me. That person wants the best for me. They don't
It's
want
a
me.
great feeling. It's a great
Yeah.
feeling to know that people are really stand by you and really love you and want to see you change and do better. It's a great feeling. It really is.
And those cravings, those feelings, they come and go.
Well, they do.
And you distract yourself and you find something else to do with that time, and it will go away.
Mm.
Like walk, exercise, something. Call somebody, your friend.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, I'm feeling this way. You just don't pick up. But one day at a time. You know.
It's one day at a time. This is not easy. It
Mm,
really is not easy, especially if you got other issues to that's pushing you. It's hard to deal with everything at one time, but deal with them as you can.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Seek help when you can. Seek advice when you can. Because otherwise, you're going to sneak off in the corner and it's going to get dark.
mm,
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
mhm.
And we all know what it is to be in that dark space.
And sneaking away at that too.
Exactly. And that makes it worse.
Mm-hmm.
That only
It'll
makes it
eat
worse.
you up.
Huh. It's
Believe
like
me.
literally being in a crowd of people and just trying to figure out, okay, how do I just go on yeah.
How do I fade away? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's not what you need. You need to grab hold of that crowd,
Yeah.
especially if it's a positive crowd. Grab hold of that crowd.
Mhm.
Let somebody know. Let somebody know something. People ain't gonna know if you don't tell them. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Especially if it's somebody that you know got your back. If they listen and give you advice and beat you upside the head, you know what I'm saying? That's the person you need in your life. A lot of us, we shy away from that. We don't want to hear the truth about ourselves. We really don't. But that's
Yeah.
part of recovery. You got to know what yourself. You got to know how you affecting yourself. You got to know how you affecting other people. It's all part of recovery. And if you don't have a system, it's gonna be hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be hard.
You gotta have a toolbox.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But too, I do want to say, like, if something's calling you to do a program, do it. Yeah, I wish I would have did Delancey Street when they would come visit me in jail. They would come all these different programs in Delancey. I'd be like, I'm cool. I do not want to do 2 years in no
Well,
program.
2 years, and it's for 2 years. It's the hardest shit I ever done, but it saved my life.
Yeah, no, I
It
wish I
saved my
would have
life.
done it. I would have got clean a long time ago.
All the things I'm avoiding, just
Yeah.
there. I just gotta do it.
But too,
Because they're there and I know they're there. I just need to put them in front of me. You know what I mean? I just gotta go. Maybe I should.
yeah,
Delancey Street.
you learn a
No,
lot in
go.
programs.
Yeah.
You learn, and the thing about the Nasty Street is you learn a bunch of different trades while you're there. They have a restaurant, they have their own school system, everything. So they got the moving company, they got a lot of different trades you can learn, and they make sure that you learn a trade, a marketable trade or skill before you graduate. It's
Yeah.
part of your commitment. You have to learn a skill, or if you don't have a high school diploma, you got to get your GED. Or you know what I'm saying? Or if you want to go to college, if you stay more than 2 years, they'll help you get in college and everything, help you get a degree. I mean, it's you make life choices and they make sure you're right when you leave there.
Yeah. But to like, just finding to like a higher power or something you believe in that's, higher than yourself, and just like having that, like that's I started, I've gone to meetings, but I'm not like, I don't have a sponsor, I mean, Jesus is my sponsor. I
Mm.
pray to God, I get my strength from God, and for everybody to each their own, but for me that's what I do. And that's what works for me. I do hit up a meeting from time to time if I have a friend that I think could benefit from hitting up a meeting. I'll be like, let's go hit up this meeting. Or, I'm always trying to help people. Now, here I am, 10 years clean. I'm here at San Francisco State University. I'm graduating in next on Sunday. And, I'm
Congratulations.
thank you.
Congratulations.
I appreciate that.
This is what we're talking about. This is recovery. This is part of
It's
recovery.
recovery for real.
And you can attain goals and shit you've been putting aside. Once you get your mind back right, you could score. You could soar. You could soar. The
Hmm.
eagle. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I appreciate you. Yeah, and it's like I never liked school. I got my GED, my associates, my bachelor. Here I am, and I'm just like, I got to give it back though. So yeah, I just you got to start somewhere. You're 24. You're a baby still. You're not a baby. That's
But
not.
I am
But you are though. But I remember people would always tell me that growing up too. Like, oh, you got your whole life ahead of you. And it's like my boyfriend got killed when he was 25 years old. If people were telling him that at 24, they wouldn't have been saying you have your whole life ahead of you because you never know. We all, so
Life's now.
yeah, life's now. And adulting is difficult sometimes, but it's what we got to do, you know, if we want to have a comfortable life,
Yeah.
because either way it's hard. You go that way and, you know, use and homeless, that's hard too, but if you want to adult in 9 to 5 and have a roof over your head, have a family and provide for yourself, that's hard too. So, you just got to pick which one's worth it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And definitely one's always gonna be one worse than the other.
Yeah.
Jesus, 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 Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, those feelings. I hate the feelings. I don't know if do you guys ever look back, the feelings of withdrawals or even the feeling of being high itself. I feel
That's one of the things that helped me not want to go
I
back
did
there.
opiates though, downers.
That's
That
one of the things that I look back at a lot of shit. First of all, I'm finna be 64 years old this year. I started using drugs in high school. My shit when I went into recovery, I was on heroin and crack cocaine at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And I was what they considered a functional drug addict. I had a job. I was managing the fucking grocery store in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I worked with some Indian people that let me manage a grocery store because that's what I did all my life. My godparents owned the grocery store in my neighborhood when I grew up. So, I mean, this is what I knew. And I ended up getting arrested at work. I was selling drugs over the counter because I was using drugs to support my habit.
Mm.
I wasn't really making no money on the drug, but it was just to keep me going. You know what I'm saying? And I got arrested on August 28, 1998. And a couple of months later, I was in Delancey Street. I stayed in Delancey Street from 1998 to 2001. And when I graduated in 2001, I have really haven't looked back since.
That's
And
right.
whenever I feel urge, I'll call somebody, man, or I'll go take a ride by Delancey Street, or I'll go sit down and eat and see some of the older people I know that was there with me. And there's still a lot of people that's still there, that you can go to for support. You can go talk to them or let them know. Or they got this thing where you go sit on the bench. This is where you first enter Delancey Street. You go sit on the bench. You might fucking wait 2 days. And that's just a test to see if you really want to, you know what I'm saying? If you leave, you can leave at any time, like I said, but it was a test, you know what I'm saying, for people that wanted to really get recovered. So, I mean, it's an extensive program, and I don't want to get too much into it. But if you want to get recovery, look into Delancey Street. Best thing that ever happened to me.
That's right. That's big. Yeah, I wish I would have checked it out myself, but
Which one is the one
But
you
whatever you did right.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
What'd you say, Jelani House?
Jelani House,
Jelani House.
like off of Third and
Yeah,
Crusader,
yeah.
but them too. Like I went there and they were treating me. I mean, I I didn't know how far along I was when I first got clean. I was like, I just found out I was pregnant. Like I'm here because I have no, I'm not going to use while I'm pregnant. I don't know if I'm going to stay clean. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm not going to use while I'm pregnant. I've had an appointment and they were going through staff change. So I ended up leaving, going to my appointment and coming back, talking to a social worker there. They said, you're too late for your appointment. But I was telling them like, I'm just still like dazed and
Mm.
whatnot. But I'm like, I'm clean. I'm at this program. They wouldn't I found staff that would come with me, but they wouldn't let me come to my appointment. And they're like, "Oh, you're going to be homeless outside sleeping if you don't." The program thought I was there because I had to be there. I was there because I wanted to
Well,
be
you
there.
need to be.
I have family. I could go to my family's. I have a big family. I could go to my sisters and brothers' house too, And but I'm here because I want to. I'm here because it's not about me.
Yeah.
I want to get my prenatal pills. I want to see how far along I was worried. And so I went to my appointment. I came back and I told them you could UA me, whatever. Like I went to my appointment. I'm back, but they wouldn't let me in. So I was there for a couple weeks, and that's where I went to the NA meeting. I got my message to stay clean. You know, and but so I definitely do appreciate Jelani House, but that experience and that time that I had right then and there, but I left there, you know, and so like ultimately like um but that's why I said like find a power that's greater than you
Yeah.
and pray and talk to that higher power and that's where you get your strength from because we're human, we're not perfect, we're sometimes weak, so if we could find that higher power where we get our strength from, it will help us be stronger, right? So that's what I did, and just along the way, like I trusted that plan that God has for me, and things just so I just been so blessed.
Sure.
I am beyond grateful. Like I really am. Yeah, so I'm very grateful. Yeah, no, but just trust the process, trust the
You
plan.
have to trust the process. And like I said, the main thing is you have to be ready.
Hmm.
You have to be ready. Nobody can make you want to change. You have to have it in you to like, I'm tired. I'm
Mhm.
tired. I'm sick and tired. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to that point, it's all on you. You can make things happen yourself. You just gotta know your focus and know what you want. And once you get there, keep a support group. Keep somebody that you can call and talk to. Keep somebody that, when you feeling like doing some dumb shit, there's somebody that's gonna bring you back on track. Keep a support group. Keep a support system. And I'd like to thank you ladies for coming in and sitting in with us. And uh, say your name again.
Daleena.
Daleena, thank you, Daleena. You
Hmm.
have a beautiful story, and I'm proud. I'm really proud to hear your story. Graduating from San Francisco State University this Sunday after all the trials and tribulations.
Go
This is changing your life.
Yes.
This is really changing your life. So, for all of us out there that got something going on with drugs or addiction, and you think you can't change, we got a perfect example right here. We got a few examples here.
Yeah,
And it's a struggle. It's a struggle every day.
yeah.
If you want to change your life, sometimes you have to change your entire life. Thank you, ladies. I
Yes.
appreciate you. Thank you, Jen. Thanks for sitting in and co-hosting with me. I
Mhm.
appreciate you. Yep. Thank you, Jake, our technician, Mr. Jake over there.
So,
Get the people away, Jake. That's my Jake of all trades over there. He know a little bit about everything. That's my guy.
so
Thank you. We riding and smoking as usual. Tune in.